Afternoon to all girls. Welcome you once again for my English class. Today we are going to continue the yesterday topic, that is Mother Teresa, written by F.G. Herod. It is a biography. Okay, so in the previous class I explained what is mean by biography and autobiography, and then who is Mother Teresa, and then where she was born, actual what she is, how she started his service, and then how she was worldly recognized as a Mother Teresa. Okay, those things were I explained in the those information I was posted in the last class. Okay, along with that I posted here what are the awards she received and what are the awards government has given to her. So those things I were posted in the last class. Today we are going to see in the textual part, okay, textual content, what is in F.G. Herod written about Mother Teresa. Let's see one by one. First we go with that about F.G. Herod. So first, F.G. Herod. Actually, he was a king in the year of great king in 73 BCE and died on 4 BCE. Actually, in textual part, he was born on in 1906. His famous works are What Men Believe 1968, The Life of Christ 1970, World Religious 1970, Who Casts Christianity and Modern Problem 1972, The Gospel First Commentary 1976 and Challenge 1980. These are his famous works. And then in his writing, he shows his talent of handling a political and issues of Christianity in society. Okay, so these are the information about F.G. Herod. Let me move with line by line. Okay, so now we will go line by line. Mother Teresa 1910-1997 was born in Skopje, Macedonia. She joined Irish Committee of Nuns, Sisters of Larado, which had missions in India. After her initial training in Dublin, she was sent to India. Actually, her period was 1910 to 1997. She was born in Skopje, Macedonia. Okay, she joined the Irish Committee of Nuns because she was decided in at the age of 12 she wanted to become a nun. At the age of 18 she wanted to start her missionaries. Okay, so for those who want to do a nun in India means they have to attend a training in they have to attend a training in Sisters of Larado, okay, which had missions in India. After her initial training in Dublin, she was sent to India. On October 7, 1950, Mother Teresa started her own order, the Missionaries of Charity, to care for those who had no one to look after them. So in the year of 1950, Mother Teresa started her charity, Missionary of Charity, those who had no one to look after them. So Mother Teresa, although born Yugoslavia, Indianized herself totally after coming to India. She became a global citizen through her selfless service to the World Committee, cutting across a national, social, religious and socio-cultural boundaries. Actually, she was an Albanian. After visit to India, she was totally Indianized woman. Okay, because of her selfless service to the World Committee, cutting across a national and social, religious and socio-cultural boundaries. When asked Mother Teresa, there are too many poor destitute in the world today. Okay, how much can you do for them? So someone has asked to her, today there are so many poor and so many helpless. How much can you do for them? So her reply is, it was be only a drop in the ocean. But if there was not in the ocean, it was only drop in the world. It was not in the ocean. So will the ocean be less because of that missing a drop? when the ocean be less because of the missing of a drop. So see what she said, it is a small, it is a drop in the ocean. It was not in the ocean. Okay, will the ocean be less? Will the ocean will be less because of the missing a drop? She established more. She established more. She established. She established more than 100 missionaries in different parts of the world, and they continue to serve the destitute and marginalized. F.G. Herod's description of her in this essay brings her alive to us. Yeah, actually, F.G. Herod, what she said, after while she starting her service, after that it was hundreds missionaries in different parts of the world, and they continue to serve destitute and marginalized. Still, they are continue to do their service for the helpless people. And then F.G. Herod here described to of her in this essay, he brings her life to us, alive to us. Okay, through his essay. In the next paragraph, F.G. Herod described her appearance, how she is. First, she was started a quote, "I shall not leave this place until I know that you have given her a bed." So in the hospital, she is arguing for a distinct person. She is saying that I shall not live until I know that you have given her a bed. The little woman, barely 5 feet tall, wearing a cheap white saree with a blue border and a small cross hanging below her left shoulder, had begun to her work in Calcutta among the poorest the poor. So she has a barely 5 feet tall and wearing a cheap white saree with a blue border and a small cross hanging below her left shoulder, and had begun her work in Calcutta among the poorest poor. And her name known to millions throughout the world is Mother Teresa. Yeah, it is acceptable. Million people known her name is Mother Teresa. She had picked up his rich creation of eaten by rats and ants and carried it to the nearest hospital. Had not been firm, she knew that the woman most likely would have been turned out into the street again. The hospitals just cannot cope with the population of Calcutta. Actually, Calcutta is more population. Okay, in that what she did means she had picked a rich creature. That means rich means miserable creature like a ant and rat, of eaten by rats and ants, and carried her to the nearest hospital. Okay, she not continues with, she had not been often, she knew that the woman most likely would have been turned out into the street again. The hospital just cannot cope with the population of Calcutta. So the hospitals can't cooperate with the population of Calcutta. So she started her service from there. And then next paragraph, so many of them live and die on its pavement. They suffer the appalling heat of the day and the chill of the night, hunger and loneliness. They beg for food, and when starving they steal, cooking what little they get on small fires, and then and this manner eke out their rich lives until disease attacks them and they die in despair. So what they did, so many of them live and die on its pavements. That means on the roadside. Those who are not having a shelter properly, they started to live and die on its pavement, it seems. And then they suffer the appalling, they suffer the strange heat of the day, and then the chill of the night, hunger, loneliness. These are the reason the people were started to suffer, and then they started to beg for a food. And when they starving, they steal and cooking what little they got on a small fires. And then in this manner they started to live their rich lives, miserable lives, until this is attacked them and they die in despair. So these are the way the people were live their lives, and there until this is attack them and they die in despair. So next paragraph, Kipling called Calcutta city of dreadful night. That means it is a displaced. Okay, and then Nehru called it nightmare city. Over the years, refugees fleeing from famine, flood, and plague have arrived there. So, over the years going on, the time the refugees are fleeing from famine, flood, plague, so have arrived. So many things were happened in the Calcutta. In 1947, millions of Hindus arrived from rest while East Pakistan, following the infamous of two nation theory. They never left. It is believed today that apart from the terrible slums, the cities has been million pavement dwellers. Apart from the slum area, so many pavement dwellers are millions of pavement dwellers. That means apart from those who are living in slum area, apart from them, millions of people were living on a roadside. So Mother Teresa, in the next paragraph, Mother Teresa began her life in more pleasant surroundings. She was born in Yugoslavia in 1910. Okay, at the age of 12 she decided to be a missionary. Then at 18 to be a nun. She was sent to Laredo Abbey, Dublin, where the girls trained for work in India. Soon after she arrival in India, she was appointed a geography mistress at St. Mary's High School in Calcutta. Later she became its principal. So what happened? Actually, Mother Teresa began life in more pleasant surrounding. She was born in Yugoslavia in 1910. At the age of 12, she decided to be a missionary. Then at the age to be a nun, 18 at the age to be a nun, she was sent to Loreto Abbey, Dublin, then where the girls trained for work in India. So soon after she arrived in India, she appointed as a geography teacher at St. Mary's High School in Calcutta. Later she became its principal of the school. Next paragraph, behind the lovely gardens of the high school lay, sorry, yeah, so just behind the lovely gardens of the high school lay the city slums. They were rarely out of her mind. In fact, she would take her pupils down to see them. Something must be done about this, she told them. So what happened? She took the people rarely down to see them. Okay, something must be done about this. So she decided at times something must be decided. At this, she told them, and then to the students she told them. Then in September 1946, while on a train journey, she felt very strongly a call from God to work among the poor. So she realized, and while in the train journey, God has called and to start the work among for the poor. So, but it is not easy for a nun to leave her order. So what she did, at last, after 2 years, she was granted a permit directly from the Pope to become an unenclosed nun under the care of the Archbishop of Calcutta. So after 2 years, she got a permission from a Pope to become an unenclosed. That means that then nun have to do the service of the outside. Okay, under the care of Archbishop of Calcutta. So these are the points where F.G. Herod clearly explained here. So let me go to the next paragraph. Yeah. So next page. She left the school where she had been very happy and went to the America. So she left the school where she had been very happy and went to America. Medical missionary sisters in Patna to take a 6-month nursing course. Then with a 5 rupees in her pocket and no home to go to. Okay, she arrived in Calcutta. So she arrived at Calcutta with only 5 rupees in her pocket, no home to go. Okay, she went straight to the slums, found someone there who let her have a room free and began her work. So she found someone there who let her have a room free and she began her work. She visited home after home. She begged for a food for a starving and medicine for the sick. She begged food for those who are suffering for the sick, for starving. For that purpose, for the medicine, for the food, she begged. Home to home she moved. She visited home after home she begged for the food and medicine. And then she began a school with the 5 children in a slum compound. She had nothing to start with. Okay, she began a school with 5 children, nothing to in the slum compound itself. She had nothing to start with. The first day, they wrote the Bengali alphabet in the mud. Okay, the first day she taught a Bengali alphabet in the mud. The next day, a table, a chair arrived. The following day, a cupboard. People also came to help her. So people also came forward to help her. From this humble start has grown the care, education of many thousands of neglected children. Today, there are no less than 81 such schools. Actually, from that humble start of school has grown the care and education of many thousands of neglected children. Those are not no facilities for sending school. For that type of children, she gave the wonderful education. Today there are no less than 81 such a school, free school is there. In the next paragraph, her first recruit was a former pupil who became a Sister Agnes. One by one others came until she had 10. All former people. She was then given permission to form a new order which she called the Missionaries of Charity. So what happened when she started a school and free education for neglected children? At the time, her first recruit was, that means the first attender, recruit was, who she means, she is a former people, that means a former student, outgone student, who became a Sister Agnes. So her name is Sister Agnes. One by one others came until she had 10. One by one like that they came, and then until it had a 10. All are former peoples, that means former students. She was then give permission to form a new order. So she gave a permission. She was then given a permission to a new order which is called Missionaries of Charity. In the next paragraph, those who joined in had to give up their lives completely to the work. Okay, those who joined in it had to give up their life completely to their work. We do not take voluntary workers. Okay, so they decided to come to work, they have to complete life have to sacrifice to the work only. Mother Teresa said we do not take a volunteers workers, because why she said, Mother Teresa said, because volunteers require time for leisure. Okay, for leisure only volunteers have do their service. When asked if she did not take a holiday sometimes, she replied, "Every day is a holiday." So volunteers means those who are coming. The volunteers have to take what we have to say. Volunteers need a holiday. So Mother Teresa said, "Every day is a holiday." The usual three vows are taken: poverty, chastity, and obedience. Along with this, she added a fourth one, that is to give wholehearted free survival to the poorest of the poor. So, the four vows are following by those who are doing the service to the society, service to the needy, service to the helpless people. So, next one, Mother Teresa teaches her sister to see Christ in everyone. Okay, to see God everyone. In serving them, they are serving Christ. If we are serving the helpless, it is like serving to God. If we are doing help for the needy, it is doing the help like a god, help to like a god. So like the goddess is suffering. So these things were very strongly Mother Teresa followed in her service. And the next one, completely poverty is demanded. Unless we are poor, she says, we can't understand and serve the poor. So one time what happened, they are very uh, poor in condition, offering a food for needy people. So at the time she demanded, the one sister is coming and saying to Mother Teresa, we don't have a food, we don't have a money to get a food for next day. So what she said, complete poverty is demanded. Unless we are poor, she says, we can't understand and serve the poor. In the next paragraph, a sister must give up all her possessions, one of them for example. When she passed her final exams to become a doctor, did so well that she received a gold medal. She showed it to Mother Teresa and was duly prized for the fine result. But the gold medal had to go back. It is no use to you and you do not need it, said Mother Teresa. So it was passed on to the next best candidate. Actually, a sister must give up all her possessions. Okay, a sister, a nun. Okay, what have to do means they have to give up all her possessions. Nothing is owned for them. Okay, nothing is even everything have to give up all. One of them, for example, when she passed her final exam, okay, she to become a doctor, did so well that she received a gold medal for the result. She showed it to Mother Teresa and was duly prized for her fine result. But gold medal had to go back, said by Mother Teresa, because it is no use to you and you do not need it. Okay, said by Mother Teresa. So it was passed on the next best candidate. So when we are receiving good name, any awards, it is not used for the, according to her, it is not used, it is not going to use for you also. It have to go to the next best candidate. Okay, in this way she explained and she make her sister to understand. And then the work is hard. Desmond and Doggy in his book, Mother Teresa reports how one of the sisters, Sister Bernard, described the daily routine. We wake up at 4, pray until 6:30 and then have our first meal. We do our washing and cleaning of our before we go out of work. So the work is very hard. Those who are doing the work, the service, the nun. Desmond Doggy in his book, okay, it was written, Mother Teresa reports how one of the sisters, okay, she explained how the sisters are doing their work and what are their works. Sisters Bernard described the daily routine. Okay, we wake up at 4, pray until 6:30 and then have 4, and then have our first meal. We do our washing and cleaning of the house before we go out to work. So these things were first daily routine of the first day of the first of day. So we can see in the next class, girls. I hope you are all understand, and then I will meet you in the next video. Thank you, girls.